Hey, brother.
Hey, Al.
And welcome everyone back to another episode of Siblings in Crime. I'm Allie Rossell.
And I'm Blake Murphy.
And just as it sounds, we are siblings who love true crime.
Yes, love it.
Yes, we love it. If you have not listened to last week's yet, go back, listen to part 1, because this is going to be part 2 of our series, the only other part, with Daniel LaPlante. Last week we covered his 1986 crimes, and now we're going to be going into 1987.
The next year. Surprised this guy got off so early.
Well, you're about to find out how. Yeah. We're going to roll straight into it. So, like I said, if you haven't listened yet, pause, go listen to the other one. If you haven't yet, also, please like, subscribe, all the things, rate us. We love it. Comment. It's great. You ready to rock and roll?
Yes, I'm just getting my facts for this one. So I'm ready now. Let's roll.
This is going to be a big spoiler if you didn't listen to part 1 yet. When officers pulled Daniel LaPlante from the crawl space in 1986,
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, he was just 16 years old. He was too young in the eyes of court to be treated as a predator, and he had already proven himself to be it, though. So
does he not have parents?
He has parents. Seems like they're his dad at least, and stepdad not very involved. I'm not sure how involved his mom is.
What state is this again?
Massachusetts.
I always forget that's a state.
I know. I'm like, that's a town.
I was like, I love Boston. What's Massachusetts?
For sure.
I'm just kidding.
It's in a small town called Townsend. So that's where they're at. So he was charged with breaking and entering, rightfully so. And he was also charged for armed assault and dwelling and larceny. Also, I'm
larceny?
Like, yeah. And
whoa.
Yeah, and you think that he shows a little bit more of criminal intent, considering, like, if you remember, he took a kitchen knife to a picture of Tina. Like, he obviously has emotional...
Yeah, he had weapons,
Yeah, too. He had weapons. Like, it seemed like he... Like, the hatchet, like, chasing them and stuff. So you think that there could have been bigger charges. However, this is what he's charged with. And the crimes were, of course, serious. But because no bloodshed had been spilt, the system processed him as a juvenile.
Just a petty thief.
A burglar. Yeah, that's what they see him as.
A petty thief.
Right.
Just kidding.
Well, within weeks, surprisingly, this is like what you just talked about, he was actually released. So, reason being is, depending on sources, evidently...
I'd be scared if I was Patty.
Tina.
I,
too, would be scared if I was Tina. So, I guess his bail, depending on sources, was like $10,000. That's not completely factual. Depends where you look. But it obviously wasn't severe. Obviously, that's a lot higher back in the 80s.
Wait, ask me how much it was in 1980. Like Mike and Gibby from that one podcast.
So how much is 10,000 in 1986?
People.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
46,000.
Let's see. 1986. Oh wow, no, way off. 29,475.
Nailed it.
You're about almost how much? 10,000 off. You said 40,000. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously 29,000 is still a lot in today's times as well. But with such an act, it seems like it would be higher to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. And this amount was actually enough, though, that his mother reportedly had remortgaged their home just to post bail. So, like I said, I don't know how involved his mom is, but she's the one that posted his bail. And so he was out within weeks. So his trial hadn't begun. He hadn't done anything by the time he's starting to get back into burglarizing homes. So he didn't really take this as a sign that he should start fixing his ways. He went back into his old habits. The Bowens hadn't been like an anomaly.
Keep going.
Anomaly.
Yep.
They were like his practice for what's to come. Because less than a year later, the escalation that had always seemed inevitable
different girl or same
exploded.
Girl?
It's going to be way different than what you think.
Oh.
Different girl. December 1st, 1987. So it's almost exactly a year since he was found in the home of Tina's family.
Can you imagine getting that call? Like, your son's in a home.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. But can you also imagine, like, you're Tina's and Frank's family, and you're like, oh, by the way, he was in, like, he was in jail for 3 weeks and now he's out.
Yeah.
I'd be terrorized. I imagine they didn't stay in that house.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. But regardless.
It's hard to sell a house and move and all kinds of stuff too.
I know, but I will say I don't have much on how the Bowens are these days, and you will actually see why. So now December 1st, 1987, still in Townsend, Massachusetts, when Andrew Gustafson returned home just after 5 p.m., after his workday, normal day, he walked in to silence. Upstairs, he makes his way, he starts calling for his wife, and in the bedroom, he found his pregnant wife, Priscilla, lying across the bed. A pillow stained with blood told the story that she had been shot twice in the head through a pillow as a silencer. Horrible. And it only gets worse. Obviously, panicked, Andrew ran to the cell, like his house phone, called 911, got them immediately on the scene. And according to reports, some people feel weird about this, but reports say that he was too afraid to go looking for his 2 children that were supposed to be in the home as well.
Oh, wow.
In fear that he might stumble across a scene or anything that could literally break his heart, he had the authorities to go and do a quick sweep through of the house to go look for his children. What they found in the upstairs bathroom, 5-year-old son William lay drowned in the tub face down. Downstairs, in another bathroom, 7-year-old daughter Abigail was submerged in water as well.
Jeez.
Her body bore bruises and marks of strangulation. This
guy's evil.
Heartbreaking. Yeah, and I don't know, like, they kind of, like, give theories as to why they're in different bathrooms, all this different stuff. According to what people think happened is that he first killed the mom and then separated the children so they wouldn't see what was going to happen next. Also, reports say that the 5-year-old son, William, was there. What they think. I think this is from his testimony. But 5-year-old son, William, witnessed his mother's murder.
He's alive?
No, but this is from Daniel's account.
Oh, wow.
I cannot believe the heartache and the fear this poor husband walked in. His entire family annihilated. Mm-hmm. The crime scene revealed chilling details. There was, of course, as you'd imagine, semen stained the bedspread. Part of a condom was discarded on the floor. There was a sock that was wet with saliva, and so they obviously believed that that was used to gag Priscilla. There was 7 knotted ligatures, so pantyhose, socks, stockings. They were scattered about. A nearly full beer bottle sat on the nightstand, and torn pornographic magazine pages were stuffed in the trash. And so from just looking at the crime scene, they're in belief that this was obviously no burglar gone wrong. They don't think that he was caught in the act, and then this is the reaction. They believe that the killer had stayed, he had violated, and he had staged the scene as well. The morning after the murders, investigators studied the ground outside the Gustafson home, and in the flower bed, they actually found, like, fresh sneaker prints, which I'm so impressed with detectives. I feel like I would not, unless it's, like, super obvious. I guess they know what they're looking for. But you have to be so nitty-gritty trying to find these little details, and that's one thing that they first identify. But later that day, a trooper searching the nearby woods discovered a blue and white flannel shirt. Wrapped inside were the Gustafson's missing nameplate and a pair of wet work gloves. I was like, what the heck is a nameplate?
That's what I was just going to ask.
You know. What would you guess?
Something you put on the outside, so it's like Gustafson family home.
Yep, exactly. I was like, I guess, I'm sure that was way more common back then. But it was just like a little plate, whether it was on their mailbox or on their house, that identified whose home it was. Mm. So they found that and a pair of wet work gloves in this, like the woods nearby. And lab testing would later confirm that the gloves carried gunshot residue. So like this had to have been involved, as well as they had a lot of other things found in the woods.
Yeah, that's weird they took that, the nameplate.
That is very odd.
It's kind of psychological.
I love that neither of us can speak. This is both of us.
Working on our weaknesses with this podcast.
For sure. We do this to better ourselves. No, but that's the thing. It seems like he likes to mess with minds. It seems like when he steals, it's rarely things of significance. Yeah. It's more like personal. Like he likes to be very involved in the family.
Trophies.
Oh, it's sick.
But it's also weird because he was discarding it.
True. And I'm wondering, is that like...
What if he feels bad because he messed up the family or something?
Maybe. I didn't even think about that. I thought maybe he was trying to make an escape and he was carrying too much stuff. Or maybe he's like, I'm just going to ditch this so they don't find it at my house. Like thinking that he's not leaving evidence behind. So that was my guess. But I mean, I guess it really could be anything. So bloodhounds were brought in. I love when the dogs get on scene.
Yeah.
When they scented the shirt, the trail carried them actually through the woods and into Daniel's yard within a few feet. Yeah, so it's like, oh, Daniel, you're screwed. It was like almost drawing like a direct line through the woods from house to house.
Dang. How far is that?
I think it was like within the neighborhood. Oh. I don't think it was very far. That afternoon, troopers sat Daniel down. They found him at the Townsend library. They're like, hey, by the way, we got a lot on you. Just tell us about your day.
The library?
The library. Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah.
But he was also young, so maybe he was still in school and stuff.
Yeah. I used to go to the library to study when I was in flight school. Mm-hmm. And there's this guy that would go to the library and sit in the same spot every day, and he'd creep me out. Like, I'm like, that guy looks like a serial killer.
What? Just because is like a loner type or what? Why did it scare you so
bad? Yeah. He just like seemed like cold and stuff. But then we watched that one Bad Roommate thing, and that guy would go sit in the library and on the computer, and he'd sit in like the same exact spot that it looked like the guy.
Just like the solo chair against the wall.
Solo chair against the wall with like a bookcase in front, like on the side somewhere. Yeah. I'm like,
why do you need so much privacy? I know. That is interesting.
And he'd be on his laptop too.
Really? Yeah. Yes. I mean, not if you're doing that, it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you, but evidently we see a little trend.
Yeah, it's creepy.
If you sit in that one seat. No. But they went and talked to him. They told him that they had been, and he told them that he had been home watching TV alone on December 1st. I'm like, great, that's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
So, like, that's so hard.
That's
even
always scary.
Yeah, even if that is, like, if that's, like, legit real, we talked about this in a previous case, that stings so bad if you don't have anyone to back up your alibi. Mm-hmm. And obviously he's, like, looks pretty suspicious at this point. He described his clothing. He said he was wearing gray sweatpants, he had a striped thermal shirt, and Converse sneakers. Details investigators quietly filed away into their plans. By that evening, police had secured search warrants for the LaPlante home. Inside, they recovered the Gustafson's stolen cordless phone and cable box, items that Daniel had taken in a burglary just a few weeks before the murders, and they also found clothing consistent with his own description. So this is kind of interesting to me. It seems obvious that Daniel had already been in and out of the Gustafson's home and other neighbors, but he had already stolen from them before this attack. So he was already familiar with the house, right?
I'm looking at pictures of him now. Mm-hmm. It's like crazy.
He looks completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have all the pictures up, of course. Mm-hmm. With the evidence tightening, state police returned to question Daniel again. This time, he booked it. He bolted. He ran.
When he was at the library?
They came to his house. Oh. And he like jumped the fence. It was like an obvious he was on the run. The town of Townsend, that's hard for me to say, went literally on alert. I'd be so scared. You're like, oh, there's like the prime suspect for a triple homicide is running around town.
Yeah.
Terrifying. So everyone's freaked out. And this was for 2 days this happened. Daniel evaded capture. He broke into 2 different homes during this time. And
he got in the wall.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we don't have a spot on a wall that people could hide in. I'm like, that's so odd to me that he even found a spot at all. But
probably made it.
I guess. So weird to me. I'm like, you just drilling away or what's going on?
Maybe there's like a picture and he drilled through it and then got in. He just has a picture in front.
That's a creepy thought.
Yeah.
Don't say stuff like that. I'm scared.
Maybe we need to get rid of our pictures.
Just take all the pictures off the wall. Anyways, but this is what's crazy. He's broke into 2 different homes. He stole a .32 caliber revolver from one of them, and at another,
spooky.
Yeah, true. I'm like, stop stealing guns. At another, he confronted Pamela Michaela, forcing her at gunpoint to drive him in her van. So it sounds like the cops don't think that he has his driver's license or knows how to drive because he's using someone else to be his driver.
Yeah.
So he's holding her at gunpoint, but Pamela's actually so sick. She manages to literally bail out of the car. She leaps out of the moving vehicle and escapes, which I'd be like so scared to even try to pull that off. I don't know how I would react, of course, but it seems like that's the only thing that was going to work. And Daniel, he tried to do his best. It sounds like he either left the car or he himself tried to drive a little further. But it's not like it's hard to drive a car. So it'd be easy if he wanted to just like speed off on his own. However, it sounds like he was desperate. One way or another, he ditched the van at some point and then he was on foot. So they thought his best chance was probably going to be by train to get out of town fast. It's not like he had any money or anything like that. And so they had security at all the train stations, notified everybody. I'm talking with my hands a lot. So they shut down everywhere so that they could try and find any public transportation places. Yeah. But the chase ended on December 3rd, 1987. Officers found him hiding in a dumpster at an industrial park. He was filthy, as you can imagine. He's in a dumpster. He's been on the run. And he was exhausted, but he was still armed. So a search revealed that he had a loaded .32 revolver hidden in his underwear and a .32 bullet tucked in his sneaker. So he was still ready to go ablazing, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But it didn't end up in a shootout or anything like that, luckily. Over the following weeks, forensic work erased any remaining doubt, which I think is so cool that this even happened in the 80s. Very rare. Fibers on Daniel's clothing matched those tied to the ligatures at the crime scene. And the semen stain on the Gustafson's bedspread revealed something crucial. And the sample came back from a type A secretor. Have you ever heard that? I know. I was like, what the heck is that? That sounds gross. But that meant that the perpetrator's blood type antigens carried, or that's what his blood type was, that was carried into other bodily fluids. And so they're able to tell that he was type A DNA. And so because of that, they also knew Daniel was type A. And so this was
early.
Yeah, this was way before DNA times where they can get more information on that or get all the different characteristics you need from DNA. But at the time, this was pretty telling to investigators. And that was as close enough you can get to a fingerprint, right? Back then with forensics. Finally, in April of 1988, so it's been 4 months, police recovered the missing Ruger pistol from the glove compartment of an abandoned car on his family's property. So he had stolen previously 2 different .22 pistols. One was found in his laundry hamper, and the other was found in this car that was abandoned on his property. And ballistics confirmed it had fired the fatal shots that killed Priscilla Gustafson. Mm. So, stateside, you're open and shut. This is leading exactly to Daniel. When Daniel LaPlante was led into the courtroom, he no longer seemed like the boy hiding in the walls, this greasy man. He's now 2 years older. He's cleaned up for court. But that didn't do anything for the amount of evidence that was staring right back at him. The charges against him were severe, right? First-degree murder for Priscilla Gustafson and her 2 children, which I'm kind of surprised that a lot of times I feel like you can get another charge if they're pregnant. So I was thinking maybe they would go for 4 counts of first-degree murder, but I couldn't find that in my research, and there may be gaps on whether she was pregnant or not, or whether they did go for the 4 charges, but it was unclear in my research. But that plus related charges of armed assault, burglary, and assault with a dangerous weapon. So literally everything we just talked about is unfolding in the state's case.
Yeah.
As far as the defendant's side, I was like, defendants, you have no case whatsoever, in my opinion. What do you think they try to pull?
Insanity.
That seems like the only thing that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they acknowledge the weight of evidence against their client, but they questioned whether the forensic matches were as airtight as the prosecutors claimed. So they were talking about, like, are the fibers actually reliable evidence? Like, he's obviously been in the house. He was burglarizing. Yeah. So could that have been a factor? Also, the secretor status. It's like DNA wasn't what it is now. And so, like, if he's type A, anyone can be type A. That doesn't just dial in Daniel.
Yeah. It's not like nowadays where it's like there's a 0.00001% chance it's not him.
Right. And here's their 4 siblings that I perfectly match as well, or whatever. Yeah. For sure. I think their goal was really just to have any form of reasonable doubt and to help him at all. But also they argued the fact that he was so young. So they said that his age should be considered much more of a factor. Like, he was much more impressionable. He was less mature, obviously, that he couldn't have fully known what was going on during this trial. Like, all these things. Basically, they're trying to get him not to be charged as an adult. But, I mean, he had gone through evaluations, and they had concluded that he understood the circumstances he was in. It wasn't like he was unaware that he was going to trial because he murdered 3 people. Despite those arguments, the jury was unconvinced, of course. In my opinion, it seems obvious. The prosecution's case, from stolen guns, matching ballistics, like the property found in his possession, all of this was just too strong for the jury to disprove. So, Daniel LaPlante was found guilty on all 3 counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole.
Oh, wow.
That is, until some of the U.S. Supreme Court made some changes.
Mr. LaPlante extinguished Andy's family for no apparent reason, sidelined his career, sent him into bankruptcy, ruined his health, and left him a shell of a man for a very long time.
So Daniel LaPlante, for the murder of my sister Priscilla and her unborn child, I forgive you.
Priscilla Gustafson's brother said today he forgives LaPlante for all 3 murders, but he made it clear to the judge forgiveness is a spiritual thing. It is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Resentencing will happen in the morning.
After some time, this was in 2017, Daniel got a resentencing. Reason being...
What year?
2017.
Oh.
So...
He's in jail for 30 years plus?
Yeah, so, at this point he's been in jail for quite some time. But it turns out that the Supreme Court made a decision disallowing automatic life without parole sentences for juveniles. And because this was
a juvenile case.
Obviously a juvenile case, they decided to take it back to court. He had this whole sentence hearing again and resentenced in 2017 to now have 3 consecutive life sentences, but with parole eligibility after 45 years total.
Oh.
So now he has 45 years, and it's not like they were being lenient on him. I guess this is actually the most, the maximum penalty that the judge was able to provide. So this was the most they could do under the circumstances now that they had to give parole an option. So he was only 17 years old, and the reason that the judge decided to still give him the max penalty he could is because of the lack of remorse that was very evident. They said that in the psychological evaluations, when he was talking about the cases, that he has never shown any remorse, any empathy. Like, it's very disturbing that he is that disassociated with.
With the case.
Disassociation. Like, completely. I was like, what's the word? When you have, no feeling. Obviously,
numb. He's numb.
Yeah, he is numb. And it, hasn't bothered him. And at this point, the resentencing, it's been, like you said, a lot of years, 25 plus, 30. So it had been a lot of years, and he's still not showing that remorse. And it sounds as though I will say that he seems to have made some positive changes in jail. It seems like he was doing what he can to kind of become a better citizen and that stuff. Hopefully more people are doing that in jail. Yeah. So it seems as though he may be doing some of that. However, he still has the max sentence. And because of that, it looks like let's see, what's 45 years? I had it written somewhere, but, oh yeah. So Daniel can't even request parole until 2032. So that's pretty far out. But for the Gustafson family, there was no parole, no second chances. Andrew Gustafson lost his wife and both his children in a single afternoon. At Priscilla's funeral, standing over 3 caskets, oh, this makes me sick, Andrew spoke words that would echo for decades. He said, "God has blessed me with a wonderful wife and children. Now he has taken them back. As for me, I have gained a greater appreciation for life. I know that someday I'll be reunited with my loved ones." End quote. He actually went on to kind of rebuild his life. He got remarried, and he returned to his law practice. Seems like he found strength in his faith and did what he could to honor his family. But the murders never stopped shaping him, of course, as grief typically does that. To the town of Townsend and to Massachusetts, the whole thing, the Gustafson killings became a symbol of innocence lost. Like this like family, young family, 5'3", the mom, all killed just being in the safety of what they thought in their own home. Mm-hmm. For Daniel LaPlante, the walls, like I said, permanently closed in on him. Kind of ironic. Mm-hmm. So everyone believes that he probably won't even get out on bail in 2032. He'll be in his early 60s. Whether parole will ever be granted, we don't know. But because of the repetitive comments of the lack of remorse, many people hope and believe that he will not ever be released. The story of Daniel LaPlante lives on in 2 forms. So we got one where he's kind of like, I don't want to say like a legend, like a folklore. Folklore. Oh my gosh, folklore. Folklore. Oh my gosh. Restart that.
No, we can't.
Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Yeah. But the reason I say that is because in some stories it's very dramatized, where the boy in the walls, he's like a ghost, he's summoned by a Ouija board. Yeah. Like some accounts say that he was in the wedding dress when he chased them with a hatchet. Wow. Yeah, so I tried to stick with what I could find that's most factual, but where the police records like didn't say what happened, people kind of filled in the gaps, and so there's a lot of sources that are kind of unreliable in that way. So somewhere in between those 2 tellings lies the full story of Daniel LaPlante. Not a demon in the walls, not a monster from beyond, but a human being who chose to destroy the lives of others. And so this is the full story of Daniel LaPlante, the boy who lived in the walls and the family annihilator.
Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, so first part it doesn't seem innocent, but burglarizing doesn't seem like that big of a deal. He was literally torturing Tina's and Frank's family. And I mean, with people like that, a lot of times, obviously, if they're juveniles, you want to be lenient. But it seemed like that was just the start to obviously something way worse. And it makes me wonder, like, well, a long time ago you asked me, like, what happened with their trial, or you said something about, like, their case, like, why he got out so fast. Obviously, they posted bail, but also there isn't as much about the burglary because the murders are, like, what really obviously shine. Yeah. And so he went to trial for this case, and he never even made it trial for the burglary because he had already because he already had gotten caught for this murder. And so that's why there wasn't as much as far as his sentencing and stuff like that, because he didn't have it for the first half of the story. But anyways, very disturbed man. We will have pictures of the before, the after, the families, everything. So if you're watching, you'll be seeing that. So anyways, that is our case. And before we wrap up, Blake, do you have any true crime news?
I do. It's not true crime news. These are facts about robberies or burglaries. Oh, it's hard for me to say that.
It is a weird word.
All right, so first we'll start with the definition. Unlawful entry into a structure with intent to commit a crime, usually theft. All right, so it says trends, burglaries in the U.S. have declined sharply since the 1980s, and I'm guessing that's because now we're starting to have surveillance, and even 10 years ago when like Simply Safe and all those things started coming out, like
Ring doorbells.
Yeah, cameras are a lot more affordable, and so it's a lot harder to break in. It says 60 to 70% of burglaries are targeted towards homes. Most burglaries occur in the daylight hours, actually,
like
because we're probably not home.
Oh, yeah. That's comforting, though, to know that, like, they're not there for you. That's my biggest thing is an intruder comes in and they're, like, actually after me.
I got a fact for you.
Ooh.
It's coming. Victims home. 28% of the burglars happen while someone is home.
28%?
Yeah.
That's pretty high still.
It is. Oh, no. That's a good one.
That's scary to me.
Well, the next one's good. 7% of burglaries involve violence against a household member. Only 7.
I don't know. It still seems higher than I like. But I guess 7 is less than 10.
Yeah. So the types of violence that happens are simple assaults are the most common.
Simple assaults?
Simple assaults.
Oh,
like
assault.
Maybe like tie him up and hit him or something.
I think he said simple salts, and I immediately pictured like smelling salts for some reason. I was like, that's an odd attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Smell it.
So weapons in burglaries. Weapons used in a minority of burglaries.
Minority, not majority.
Like they don't bring weapons a lot.
Oh, okay.
But increased risk of severe injury when they do bring them, obviously.
Great. That's what scares me too, is when you have a weapon, and if you scare a person that has a weapon, way more likely to be like fatal with it.
Yeah, this is a recent fact. In 2022, it says only 13% of burglaries are solved by police.
Only 13?
Yeah, because honestly, some of them it's just like they stole your TV. I have no idea. Yeah.
But that's
what's
weird.
Or like they break into your car and it's like I've never seen them again.
What's the shocking thing about that though for me is that you said that burglaries have gone down a lot since the cameras and everything. So it's shocking to me that they aren't getting more caught.
There's probably less.
I guess that makes sense. Less of like.
Only the good ones are.
Yeah, only the good ones are still in business.
Yeah.
Professional burglarizers.
Like that one guy in the Reddit forum.
Yeah, he's a professional.
Yeah. Annual incidences in 2019, 1.1 million burglaries reported in the U.S.
Such a high number. That is so high. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure like some areas it's like way higher.
Oh, for sure.
Per person than the other.
Yeah, it's definitely dependent on city and stuff.
And then the last thing is what I wanted it to tell me about was there's no reliable data showing how many burglars later commit murder. Burglary is studied as a property crime. Murder is a violent crime. So this guy's, it doesn't happen a lot that they become murderers in the end. I feel like there's a lot of like things where it's like the person breaks in to like assault or do something bad to someone. I feel like those guys become murderers and like serial killers, but not people that are just like. And it kind of sounds like this guy had an issue with that.
True.
Like weird sexual obsessions. So.
True. I would say also that I feel like if someone breaks in for like harming a person, I feel like more times than not it's probably personal. Like even just I was going through Reddit today just like looking at burglarizing and stuff, and it seems like overall anyone's experience with getting like burglarized often were people they knew. It's like it was my sister's friend like looking for drugs. It was this person. So like I feel like if someone's coming in specifically to attack you, but in general I wouldn't be surprised that if you had any sort of relation with. But
this is kind of a scary one. It says 1 in 20 burglaries with someone home involve serious assault, robbery, or worse.
What percent?
1 in 20.
That's like a good amount.
Yeah.
You're scaring me.
It's like 5%.
It's still pretty high. But we mentioned last week we just got new security. So no one's coming after us. That's for sure.
Or we're going to be able to watch them come into our house.
True. Thank heavens we can at least watch. Yeah, and next week we may share a little bit more about our own experience with burglary. So maybe that's our theme for September as of right now. Yeah. But we like to bring in every little thing, burglary, any type of crime. But we just kind of keep it interesting. So if there's anything that you prefer, if there's anything that you like, please let us know. We like to hear from everybody. Also, we're kind of dabbling with the idea, because I was on Reddit today, I thought that it might be interesting to have a siblings in crime forum to be able to submit your own personal experiences. If you have anything that spooky happened to you or any crime or anything that you want to have us read on our podcast.
Yep. Another thing that we're going to start doing in October, Allie doesn't know this yet. I just thought about it as we were
Sounds like more work for me, I'm sure.
We are going to do a true crime story live once a month on TikTok.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
News to me. So go follow us on TikTok if you want to see.
And YouTube. It's going to be live on everything somehow.
Instagram too?
Yeah.
Can you do them across all platforms at the same time?
I don't know. Or figure it out. Okay,
we're going to figure it out. However, you got to be following us to hear that. So Siblings in Crime Pod on all platforms. Now I'm nervous. I'm not good with lives. I'll have you read those stories. So let us know your stories. We love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for listening.
Thanks.